Hello YouTube, and a warm welcome to the Essentially Crypto channel. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about the burns in the Reserve wallet and how they can actually affect stuff now if new tokenomics comes in that maybe sort of follows this kind of pattern. I don't know, we're going to speculate about that, but that's all coming up in just a few moments time. But before that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So let's go over to the main screen today so we can see what's going on in the world of NFTs and crypto today. And the first thing up is this. This came up on my Facebook page. I thought it was interesting because it means that mass adoption is going to come at some point. You can actually get a franchise of Sandbox, so therefore you can basically sell it out as an escape room. As long as you've got a little green room, you put the helmets on, they're in the metaverse, they do their thing, and you charge them to come in. So, that means that there's more uses for crypto now than there used to be, where you could just buy it and speculate on it going up. Now you've got all the gaming elements, you've got the metaverse elements, you've got all of those things that are all coming, which is going to make mass adoption of crypto. Simple as that. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting, and that's Sandbox. We've got the Opensea. Today we're officially moving to the Seaport protocol. So as they say, they're going to save an estimated $460 million in fees each year or more, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, for adoption, it means that if there's not a lot of fees, then more people are likely to come into the space. So it can only be good, and that's happening on Opensea as we speak. Solutions Engineering Gaming, Head of Business and Development Gaming, EMEA. This is Immutable X. They're advertising for people at the moment. Now, this thing's been going around at the moment. This came from Comics and Crypto on Twitter. Basically, he was talking about, on Immutable here, it says powering the next generation of Web3 games, as you can see, and it's talking about Disney and Marvel. Now, you could argue that Immutable are going to put those up because of the fact that they're working with veve, and veve has Disney and Marvel, or it could be something to do with powering the next games of them, Marvel games and Disney games. We know in my interview with Reese, if you haven't seen that, I'll leave it at the end of this video. He talks about the fact that there is another company who is doing a very big game. We've also got the Epico Regal, who are going to be doing a AAA game that's also going to involve Omi as well. So it seems that Immutable are really going for the gaming side of things, not just the marketing platform and that kind of thing. In fact, they are obviously advertising for those people, but they're also working with GameStop, and GameStop have got their own wallet out now, and they're going to be big because that will bring in the adoption of of users of GameStop, etc., etc. So therefore, that's going to be big for Immutable, and in turn, it'll probably be big for veve. Breaking news, Ascendex has just changed its APY to 5.13%. So thank you for veve Meister who put this up. Basically, anyone who's got Ascendex Omi on there, instead of getting 10% now, you only get 5%. So bear that in mind when you're trying to decide whether or not you're going to keep your Omi on the platform. Is it worth the risk for you to do that? Is it worth the risk from hackers? Is it worth the risk from, whatever? Bear in mind, once you put your Omi on that exchange, even though you're getting that 5.3% APY or 10% when you first got it. Now, I'm not sure if it's changed because it was promotional rate or because they've just changed it because of the climate at the moment or whatever it is, but the point is that it has now changed, so therefore do bear that in mind and decide whether or not it's worth the risk of keeping your Omi on there or putting your Omi on there if you want to get that APY per year. So APY is still not bad considering banks and all that kind of thing. However, normally, when you put your money in the bank, obviously it's a little bit safer than putting it on an exchange where if a hacker was to hack it, get into that exchange, take all your Omi off, you've really got no recourse at all. Sometimes exchanges are nice and they have some sort of insurance, but other times they don't. And, at the end of the day, is it worth the risk? I'm not sure. It's up to you. I personally keep mine on a cold wallet, or in my case, I've got it in the veve app at the moment until I can take it back off and put it in my cold wallet. But, it's up to you. You decide, make your own decision, and yeah. You can find okay, so this is next up. This is Curtis Cooper. He made the Cannon Crisis game. Go and check it out in the App Store. Make sure you download it and play the game. Basically, he's removed 550k of Omi from circulating supply. So basically what happens is when you play the game, the advertising goes on and he uses that money to buy Omi off the exchange. Simple as that. And then he burns it. So therefore, he's keeping us up to date with how much he's burning, etc., etc. As you can see, some days are better than others. So obviously, different amounts of people playing it, I guess, that kind of thing. Also, I believe you can pay some Omi to be able to turn the adverts off as well. So if you haven't gone and got that game, then go and check it out. And also, when we was talking about it before, I said that maybe he was keeping some for the company because of business, that kind of thing. Apparently he's not keeping any behind. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing, by the way. Obviously it's a business, so it needs to run, but maybe I think he was keeping some for tax or something like that. Apparently every single bit of the money that is generated from it goes to burn Omi. So you know, that's the way it is. So that's absolutely brilliant. And he's not keeping any for tax or anything like that, so he's going to have that tax liability, I guess, at the end of the year. But he's obviously got a big bag of Omi, so it benefits him as well. So but either way, if you want to go and check out the Cannon Crisis game, then you will find it on the App Store, or go and check out his Twitter and you can follow him on there. So next up we have got this. Celebrating International Feesh Day. Yesterday this happened, so today I'm a little bit late telling you about it, but still I thought it was a bit of news to tell you, and that is that Feesh Day was yesterday. Ecomi tweeted it out as well. Basically, Brock was giving away a load of different NFTs and that kind of thing to celebrate Feesh Day. If you go on the Discord, you can try and still go into the competitions, that kind of stuff. So make sure you check out Feesh called. I'll leave the details in the description below anyway, so you can click on that and go straight through. If you haven't got yourself a feesh, then I'll be honest with you, this is one of the NFTs. I bought it originally because of the fact that we're in the community with Brock, but I must say this is one of the only NFTs where I get constant free stuff. Like, constantly, every single month you get given so many airdrops, and there's so much more coming for this. Obviously he's created the game where you can battle against each other, you can wager your Omi and all that kind of thing against each other, and then like 50% of that Omi then gets burnt, apparently, from circulating supply. So, you know, it's a great thing to be able to keep the community going in a way of, you know, burning the Omi and all that kind of thing. So it's really, really exciting. That's Feesh. Make sure you go and grab yourself a Feesh if you haven't got one, because if you grab yourself a Feesh and you play with your Feesh, then you don't have to pay to play the game. However, if you want to play to pay to earn, you have to pay Omi in order to be able to do that. So therefore, if you've got a feesh, it's part of it. If not, then you have to pay in Omi, I believe. So therefore, either way, go and check it out. There's a massive prize fund as well. I believe he's upped the prize fund now to like 2 million Omi or something. It was going to be 1 million. He's had a few little encounters where it didn't work out quite as he intended, so now he's upped it to even 2 million Omi, I want to say. I could be wrong on that one. Make sure you check out all the details in Feesh Called or on feeshes.com. So this thing here, now I say this because of the fact that this actually came out a couple of weeks back now, and the reason I brought it up today is because one of the predictions, so to speak, is actually here. Now, I'm not going to say who wrote this because I don't know if they want to be known, but it was apparently put out on Facebook. Now, I did try and find it on Facebook just so I could guarantee this, but I didn't find it. So therefore, this was put in a group that I'm in, but apparently this was put on Facebook on one of the veve collectible groups or something like that. So basically, this was someone who was talking to David Yu, and David Yu talked to him about some of the different things when he was talking to him about his account being banned. Okay, so he says that he's saving the big drops. He doesn't know what. Obviously, you can't push him when he's talking to him about after the MTL for the new crowd that comes in. Now, we knew this was the case anyway. They did say that they're saving many of the drops. They've said it in a couple of the AMAs, but it's nice to confirm it anyway. Wow, someone with actual $1 billion, that's crazy, is waiting for a cash out to start going heavy on veve. Now, we know this is the case as well. We know there are certain wows who are literally waiting, because the thing is that at the moment it's not really legitimate. For us who are coming in and buying, 20 or 30 $30 things, and then we're waiting for the cash out. But wows are obviously planning on buying a big amount of stuff, so therefore they won't come FOMOing in until the cash out is in place. And once that cash out is in place, they know they can cash out afterwards. They're likely to then go in heavy on the stuff before everyone else gets a chance to to get in, basically. So bear that in mind. As soon as we see the MTL, we'll probably see a big upturn in the actual collectibles themselves. And of course, when we go on Opensea and all that as well, then we'll probably see a big turn up then, because people can buy them in Ethereum. There's a lot of ether owls out there. There's a lot of people who are buying Ethereum right now, and in a few years' time, it's going to be worth a lot of money. So therefore, bear all that in mind. That's kind of how it used to work back in the day, and now it works like that now, basically. So Italian Jurassic Park AMC exclusive NFT will be the most rare, since they only minted so many of them. So that's interesting to know. He chats to Steven Spielberg, no confirmation about what. A flying DeLorean, funny face, not sure what that means, and an expressed interest to do something Star Wars related for Father's Day. And that's the exact reason that I brought this up, because that has come true. That is now happening today. Obviously, we've got the Star Wars drop. with the little book covers and all that kind of thing. They're looking really cool. Pedo Darth Vader, as Bob called it in his tweet, which I thought was quite funny. So therefore, if you want to get yourself a Pedo Darth Vader, get over to the veve app. And who knows, are they going to be a flop? Are they going to be a raring success? I don't know. I don't really follow the veve NFTs as much anymore because there's so many drops, it's hard to keep up. But generally speaking, what's been happening is that when you buy it, it tends to go almost half price on the market straight away, except for a few exceptions like Darth Vader and that kind of thing. So therefore, always bear that in mind. The good news is that it's probably likely to go up at some point, and if you don't get it on the drop, you're risking that you don't get it in the market afterwards. So bear that in mind, because that's what happened a long time back. A lot of things happened like that. Spider-Man went down massively, and now you can't get that for the same prices that was got in, after. So just bear that in mind. It will go up at some point, hopefully, but you're risking the fact if you don't get it on the drop, you're risking not being able to get it in the market. But of course, if you want to wait till the market and there'll be people in there selling it for cheap, which there probably will be, then you can probably jump in and get it there. But obviously, you don't get to choose whether or not you get the ultra rare or anything like that unless you pay more money for it. Simple as that. So therefore, interestingly enough, actually, someone was talking about the bots as well and saying that now, or they were talking about this on the AMA the other, not AMA, but the video update, saying that the fact that because there's no bots now, it means that it doesn't always sell out, and that's not a bad thing. Well, it's not a bad thing. However, one thing about it not selling out, obviously, is it means that a lot of people look at it and go, well, that didn't sell out, therefore it's rubbish, so therefore the prices kind of follow suit. But one thing I have noticed is that even though they said, there's not a lot of bots, it's very hard to tell because of the fact that when the prices are low, obviously, bots at the end of the day are run by humans. So when the prices are low, they just don't put the bots on to get the drops. Because if they do, all that will happen is they'll buy it at a higher price and they have to sell it at a lower price. It's just counterproductive, isn't it? So therefore, even though that is really happening at the moment, I've seen a few things on Twitter saying, oh, we got this many drops. And then when you look at what they got, you think, well, what's the point? You've just lost half your money. But there is still humans at the other end of that at the end of the day. And they look at the community sentiment and that kind of thing. And if they think the drop is going to be a good one, they'll probably buy it because they're selling it back to the community at the end of the day. So if the community aren't going to buy it, then they're not going to make any money from it. But because there's not as many bots, because they managed to get rid of a load as well, it also means that the stuff doesn't sell out as quickly, so therefore it kind of makes it look like the drop wasn't a success. So by getting rid of the bots, they've kind of done themselves a disservice because they don't sell out, but at the same time, they've done the community a good service because of the fact that you're able to get drops now. So it's a 6 to 1, half and does of the other. I'm not saying I want the bots to come back or anything like that, but it does make veve look more successful when it sells out straight away, but obviously that doesn't really matter in the long run either. So, it's honestly up to you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm on the opinion that if we get rid of the bots, that's a great thing, and that seems to be what they've done, but we can only really start telling when the prices start going up and the drops start getting more ferocious, shall we say. So now let's talk about the Q2 priorities update. This is what happened the other day. I was going to do a video on it. I got extremely busy, so I didn't have a chance to do it. But this is a video now. So obviously there's a lot of YouTubers out there who have already done other videos. So go and check out theirs. Taps Trades is a great one. And I will leave his details in the comments below if you don't know it already. Now, in terms of the updates for the web platform, they'll be opening up access to everyone. That's great because I still don't have access. I looked in my drafts, everything, my spam even, and there's no access in there. So I still haven't got access. Not that I mind because I'm not going to be using it for anything. Nothing is on it at the moment anyway. KYC, the Know Your Customer, is going to be sorted out soon as well. They say it's going to be a 5-minute process. Well, the other day, like literally 2 days ago, I did the KYC for that mining Pi. That thing, it's the thing on your phone, you click it every day. I had it about 2 years now. I've just been accumulating my Pi as we go along, and I had to do KYC for it the other day. It literally took just a couple of minutes. I took a few pictures of myself with the phone, looked one way, smiled, all that kind of thing, and I'm actually a KYC verifier now, so therefore I can look and see if people are the right people and click. So it's not really a big process. I don't think it's going to take too long because they're basically saying they're not going to allow anybody to use the platform unless they've KYC'd now, no matter what it is, and I guess that's because of stringent laws in New Zealand or what have you, and that's how it's changed now. So after the KYC, the payout will follow. So in theory, they should be on track still with exactly what they're doing. Once KYC is done across the board, which they'll obviously have an outside company doing that anyway, so that won't affect them too much anyway, then the payout will start coming in. And then once that payout hits, then some people are going to be using it because some people just said, oh, I just want to get my money out and all that kind of thing. Other people won't be. It just depends on your own personal circumstances and what you want to do. There's a lot of FUD going about saying, I just want to get my money out. And like I said, and that's all I want. and then there's other people who are saying, you know, we're in it for the long term and we know what's going to happen. So as we said, there's a lot of people waiting on the sidelines to get your collectibles. So, you know, if you want to get out, then feel free to. And as they always say, it's not an airport, so you don't have to announce your departure. Anyway, as we say, payout will follow with the KYC, blah, blah, blah. There's a number of options for the payout as well. This is interesting, the gems to fiat and gem to crypto. So therefore, you're going to be able to cash out into USDT, ETH and Bitcoin. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the point of that? Well, in theory, the fees should be less after a period of time. Now, Reese did confirm the other day on Twitter they are going to be the same at the moment, but they're going to try and bring them down slowly. Now, I guess because of the fact they're not going through banks and stuff, they won't have to go through as many fees. But again, could be wrong on that one, but they are going to try and reduce those in the future. They will probably get reduced quicker than the bank ones, I'm guessing, so going into USD, and then that means that most people will choose the crypto option. But bear in mind that if you do cash out into crypto, you are still in the crypto ecosystem, which generally means that you are going to spend that crypto. Okay, just to let you know, because I know how it is. That's how I am. If it goes into my bank account, I'm less likely to put it back into crypto because I've got to then change it into crypto to then change it to something else, to etc, etc. However, if it goes to me as USDT, I see something and I go, oh, I want that, and I buy it. So therefore, I'm back in the crypto ecosystem and I'm never actually cashing out any money. So just to let you know, that's me personally. It may not be you, but if you choose that option, then, you know, but it's a good thing because it goes straight into your thing, and you can probably buy more Omi with it, or you can do what you like with it. As I said, you're probably likely to spend it. So anyway, let's move on, shall we? And that is this, Lightyear. There's a new NFT coming out for the Lightyear movie. You can win that as well. If you go onto the site, all you have to do is pop in your details and answer a question. If you manage to get it, then you put into a draw, I believe, and then you are, you know, you may win one of the NFTs. I did put myself in it. I put all my details in, and then I realised afterwards that you have to be in the US to do it anyway, so therefore I'm not going to win, and I've just given them all my details for no reason. But if you are in the US and you want a chance to win one of those, now obviously it's not going to be one of those that is probably going to be worth a lot of money because it is a free giveaway. There's probably quite a few of them, but the good thing is that it's a promo code one, so it does get people into the veve app, which increases mass adoption. So next up, we got this Givenchy NFTs to celebrate Pride. We know there is a new one coming out in the next couple of weeks. When Randy Chavez the other day, he did an interview with Amar, who is the guy who made them, and he basically said that there is a new one coming out within the next couple of weeks. So therefore, it's exciting stuff. Is it going to be the belle of the ball like the other one, or is it going to be a complete flomp in veve, you know, compared to what the other prices are at the moment? Only time will tell, and we will see. I'm not going to speculate on that one personally. I might try and get one just so I've got one to go with my other Pride, but you know, I'll be honest, I've been avoiding quite a lot of the drops lately because I haven't got gems in my wallet and I don't want to put any more gems in at the moment. So therefore, the way crypto's going at the moment, everything's down and it just feels like you're constantly spending money otherwise. But that being said, it is a great time to get in now. It's a great time to buy things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, and that because of the fact that they're so low. So, you know, it really is the swings and roundabouts. It's one of those funny things that when you don't want to buy it is a really good time to buy it. So I'm trying to save my money at the moment. I'm trying to do other work to try and get myself some money in so that I can then, well, actually I'm going to buy more Omi. That's what I'm going to do. But I also might buy the Pride one if it happens to pop up and I decide that I like it. So, but yeah, so this is the buyback rumours. This is the big one. Well, I say buyback rumours. It's not really rumours as such. They actually spoke about different tokenomics that they were going to talk about. Now, I thought they were going to put this in the AMA. They didn't say anything about it. So they were obviously still trying to work out the finer details. But I've been sort of twiddling in my mind and thinking how this could work. So basically, as it stands at the moment, the way the buybacks would work is that when you buy an NFT, a percentage of that goes into a wallet. That wallet then buys from the exchange, and then that money is then basically used to buy Omi, which in turn would then be bought from the exchange. So therefore, it is burning it, isn't it? It's then sent to a burn wallet. Okay. So basically, what's happening is when you're buying an NFT, you're burning Omi from the exchange as well. Only 10% of it. Now, somewhere in the universe, somewhere, there is a wallet with lots and lots of money in, and they said they had to pause the buybacks. Now, they specifically used the word pause, and then at some point they said they were stopping them. And then they come back and they said that they are not stopping them completely, they're just trying to work out compliance. So now, there's sort of rumours going around that there is some sort of tokenomic change, and Dan himself actually said about the tokenomics change. And then when we asked about it, I specifically asked Reese in the interview I did with him. If you didn't catch it, then catch it at the end of this video. And I said to him, do the burns really matter anymore? The reserve supply, does the burns matter, or is it just for fun and just for morale? And he basically said that it is just for morale and it's just for fun. And I thought, oh, well, that's not very good, is it? And I think a lot of people were thinking the same thing. However, rumours that the tokenomics tokenomics are changing kind of infers that they're going to do something to do with it. And some of the things that they've put in place so far make me believe this is the case, because as it stands, really, the only thing you need to change is you need a disconnect between the buying of the NFTs and that money that they're going to use to buy back from the exchange. Now, as it stands at the moment, the way it works, as we said, is that when you buy it, they then buy it from the exchange to top up the reserve wallet. So that's how the ecosystem carries on going, because we need the Omi in there in order to keep the system going. So if there's no Omi going into the reserve, then it means that the system can essentially halt and stop. However, what they've now done is they have made things like feesh and even Cannon Crisis possible. No, Cannon Crisis, no, that's not part of it. The other one, what's the other one? Epico Regal, that's the one. All of those burns, I don't know if you noticed, but all of those ones they say, like Epico Regal was 10% burns, feesh is 50%, they're not going to the burn wallet. They are going to the reserve wallet. So therefore, they've essentially found a way to top up the reserve wallet. Now, that means that they don't have to worry anymore about buying it off the exchange, because they can constantly keep topping up the reserve wallet with other things. And therefore, that means they can use that money for something else. So as long as there's a logical disconnect between the buying the NFT, that money being put aside, and that money being used to buy Omi, instead of that money being used to buy something, they could find a way to get us to deposit Omi into the veve ecosystem, which is coming off the exchange. And then now I did a video a while back saying the reason that I thought they stopped the Omi to gems. And I was right, it seems. A lot of people said it was FUD. It wasn't a FUD video at all. I was just trying to explain that if they did Omi to gems, you're buying Omi off the exchange, you are then buying an NFT with it. When you buy that NFT, you've automatically got to pay licensor fees, you've got to pay all those fees associated with it, plus the artist fees, all that kind of stuff. And then they're making no money from it, because they burn that Omi. If they don't burn that Omi, it has to go back on the exchange, which means it creates downward pressure. So therefore, they were saying they were going to burn it. I asked Reese this way back. I said to him, what happens with that Omi? He said it gets burned. And then I did a video explaining that, hey, that's going to happen. And then it changed. And then I did a video explaining why it changed. And that is because of the fact they would make no money. And actually, since then, after a couple of AMAs, they've kind of admitted that that's the reason it changed. And that's also the reason that we've now got a massive amount of fees when we cash out, is because of the fact of the 30%, which originally I made a video way back because I said to Reese, what happens about that 30%? And he said that veve were going to eat that 30%. They were going to take an L. And in fact, there's a video which I did way back that says veve takes an L on this. And that was all about that. And they were saying that they were going to do that. Now, that's not actually transpired as true. In fact, they were going to claw it back from the cash out option, which I completely understand. And at the end of the day, the company needs to thrive and it needs to make money. So by taking a 30% loss on all gems and paying out $1 when they're actually getting 70 cents would just be ridiculous. However, when we first asked about it, he did say they were taking the loss. So therefore, some of the things they say don't transpire how they come out in the end, which makes you do different things when they say them, if that makes sense. But that's all besides the point. The point is that I made a video talking about how the thing will change, or they couldn't do it because they couldn't use that money. They would not make any money. However, if they found a way to get us to put Omi into the system, which would then be burnt, which would essentially come from the exchange, they could then use the money from the buybacks that were originally in there to pay for those fees, if that makes any sense. So therefore, there's a possibility that that is the kind of tokenomics change that is going to happen. But this is all just speculation. This is just me sort of thinking, well, logically thinking all you need is a disconnect and that's it. So therefore, I don't know if that's going to happen, but there are rumours in the rumour mill about the different buyback situation, not buybacks, but about the different tokenomics changes, and that can really only be something along them lines. So therefore, let's see what happens. It'll be exciting if it does, because that essentially means that the buybacks are really back on, even though they're not, and they're done in a compliant way, and that means that, you know, happy days. Simple as that, really. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. As always, don't take any of this as financial or investment advice in any way, shape or form. Everything I've said here is speculation or just based on things that I've picked up on the internet. So therefore, none of it is set in stone, none of it is gospel, and none of it is financial advice. As I said, thank you for joining me. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and, you know, share it with people if you think they're going to get something out of it. As always, don't take any of it as financial advice, because crypto can go up, it can make you loads of money, it can go down, and you can completely lose your shirt. But that is essentially crypto. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video.